Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Studios, downtown Bakersfield, California.
Welcome into Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Corey Costello with you. Thanks so much for joining us once again on the show as we take you around the world that is CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Thanks so much for joining us again on the program. We got a great show today as we are in this great time of year. It's supposed to be sort of like late winter. It feels like early summer, and we've got the spring sports in action. So we're going to get to a lot of that coming up on the program today. We're going to start with CSUB men's basketball coach Rod Barnes. The Roadrunners coming off a 1-1 weekend at the it's kind of a vaunted trip. It's always a very long trip to Texas Pan American and then New Mexico State. Runners split the trip. They win on Thursday at Pan Am, lose Saturday at New Mexico State, but Bakersfield still in third place amongst tournament eligible teams in the Western Athletic Conference, and a shot still at the number 2 seed in the tournament. That will continue with a pair of games this week at home, the final 2 conference home games for the Roadrunners at the Icardo Center this season. So Rod Barnes will join us to talk about that. We've got Chicago State coming up on Thursday, and second place Missouri Kansas City coming up on Saturday night at the Icardo Center. So more on that with Rod Barnes. We'll also recap the weekend's 1-1 split at Texas Pan American and New Mexico State. Also joining us on the show as we get into the spring sports, CSUB baseball, Soloman Williams will join us. Williams, a preseason All-Western Athletic Conference selection. The Roadrunners coming off being swept by Creighton to open the season. A tough weekend for CSUB. Part of it being defensively, where Soloman Williams unfortunately hasn't played yet because he's still recovering from a shoulder injury last year, although he is been the designated hitter a couple times for the Roadrunners and did have a couple hits over the weekend. So we'll speak with Soloman about his recovery, sort of his timetable, and the Roadrunners home games this weekend. Bakersfield's got 4 against Northern Kentucky starting on Friday with a doubleheader at 2 o'clock at Hart Field. And then CSUB softball, after having a rough start of their season at the UNLV tournament, they bounce back nicely as they get 3 wins on the road this weekend at the USD tournament, where runners also got a win over host University of San Diego, who formerly was a conference mate of the runners in the old PCSC and always a dominating team. So definitely an important win for CSUB. And Sydney Raeber was a huge part of that. She was 5 for 7 in Sunday's doubleheader action, and we'll speak with her. She's also a pitcher/outfielder for CSUB softball, so she'll join us in the final segment of the program as well as we get to a little Roadrunner softball. They open at home. Their home opener is Saturday as well with a doubleheader starting at noon at the softball complex. So there's all kinds of stuff to be on campus for this week. It's also homecoming as well, and so lots going on with CSUB Athletics. So Coach Barnes, Soloman Williams, and Sydney Raeber all joining us on today's program. But let's get to the highlights from this past weekend. We'll start with men's basketball, as I mentioned, on the road to Texas Pan American on Thursday. This basket right here is important because it's the last easy hoop the Bronx will get all night, as the runners' defense would then dominate. Down by 2 early, here's a 3-pointer from Jalen Arrington that sparked the runners' lead. They would never give up. They go on a 15-0 run. Defense a big part of that. WAC leading scorer Janari Josar, he had to earn it. He misses there. CSUB with the rebound, and plenty more to come as the Roadrunners in this one out-rebounding Pan American 37-22 as once again Ali Ahmed off the rebound there on the offensive end as well. He's going to come up with the finish. He had 13 for the Roadrunners. Ahmed a couple of assists as well. Here he's going to find Brent Rapp going towards the hoop with the layup as Bakersfield continues to lead in this one. Big story of the game, though, was Jalen Arrington hits a 3 there. Again, more defense coming for the runners, creating tough shots for Texas Pan American. And a big story in the game, though, was Kevin Mays, as Mays is going to get the feed from Javante Maynor down low as the runners get a couple 3-pointers here as well. There's Mays picking up the missed Maynor 3-pointer with a 2, and then a Tyrell Corbin steal and a layup. Runners by 13. They led by 10 at the half. Second half action, a little run from the Bronx. They would hit a pair of 3-pointers, one of them from the left elbow here as they start to chip away at the Roadrunners' lead. Bakersfield going to go back down low to Kevin Mays. He'll get the layup as well. But then once again, off a runner's miss, here's a Shaquille Boga 3-pointer. It's a 6-point game. Runners going to call a timeout and talk it over. They regroup, and then they go back inside. Brent Rapp on the dribble to kiss off the glass and the layup. And then one more miss from Texas Pan American. Good defense by the Roadrunners, and it's going to set up Ali Ahmed on the low block. The foul and the bucket. He completes the three-point play. CSUB on a 7-0 run. Runners then again, as Ahmed's going to make this free throw here. Runners then again on the glass on the defensive end of things, picking up the rebound. And then Jalen Arrington down low off the lob, collects and lays it in. Runners going to win this one. They led by as many as 17. They win it on the road 66-54. Kevin Mays, his 8th double-double of the season, 14 points and 10 rebounds in the CSUB victory. So the Runners get the win on against Pan Am. Unfortunately, Bakersfield, actually that score flip-flop. Runners losing to New Mexico State 74-58. So the Runners go 1-1 in that conference weekend. Checking out what's coming up for Bakersfield. They are at home this week. They will host Chicago State Thursday at 7 o'clock at the Icardo Center, and then Missouri, Kansas City Saturday at 7 o'clock as well at the Icardo Center. Last 2 conference home games for the Roadrunners. Will have one more non-conference home game next Tuesday, but Bakersfield's got 2 more at home this weekend in Western Athletic Conference play, and big important ones for the Runners. Chicago State, one of those teams kind of trailing Bakersfield. They can sort of get them off their heels with a win, and then Kansas City, the team the Runners are trailing by just 2 games right now for that second place spot. So we'll see if Bakersfield can get that one for the second place battle on Saturday night. On to CSUB women's basketball. Speaking of standings and seedings and all that good stuff, they were playing a couple teams they were trailing this week, and there's Tana Outland trying to avenge an early conference loss at UT Pan Am. She was trying to lead the Runners to remain perfect at home. Good start for CSUB, who opens the game on a 15-0 run. Here the defense gets the steal, and then Tana Outland goes the distance for 2 of her 21 points. Outland also passing the ball a bit as well. Here she's going to go down low to Haley Ford with the layup. Runners lead by 7. Ford would score 8 in the game. Runners going to do plenty of damage as well from the three-point arc, as Alyssa Shannon on the left side here. She hits 3 of her 19 points. Roadrunners by 11. Runners then going to back to feeding Tana Outland once again. She's in the paint. She spins and finishes. The Runners are rolling. More from the three-point arc as Erica Williams shows a little bit of her versatility, as Williams is going to hit the near corner, then to Brooke Hinkins. Hinkins hit the three-pointer. Runners lead by 20 at the half. Second half, UTPA cutting the lead on a little nice play here. Shantae Goff, watch her. She's going to miss this shot and sort of runs the tightrope and then finds the jumper from Tanisha Walker. Lead down to 14, but then it's Brittany Bush with the turnaround to pull UTPA within 12. Roadrunners, however, are going to respond. How they're going to do it? The three-pointer, of course. Hinkins again from the corner. Runners back up by 15. Then Erica Williams with 3 as well. Runners lead by 16 with 13 minutes to play. 14-point game. Badabe Zampari hits the layup in the paint. Then more three-point production off the pass. Hinkins again on the far side corner. CSUB leads by 12. 9-point game at this point where the Runners make their final separation, as Alyssa Shannon going to miss this first shot here, but the Runners with an offensive rebound and a putback as Bakersfield goes up by 12 after the free throw from Tana Outland. Then one more steal from the Roadrunners and the long lead to Tana Outland, who finishes again. She was 8 of 19 from the field in the win. Runners shoot 52% in the second half. Outland sinks one more pull-up jumper just for good measure. CSUB rolls in this one 87-72 as they beat Texas Pan American. Tana Outland with 21 points. That was the team they were chasing for second place, so they get that victory, 87-72. Then on Saturday, New Mexico State came in unbeaten in conference play, unbeaten no more. The Roadrunners go to 14-0 at home. They beat New Mexico State 82-78, as CSUB now will do what they have struggled to do this year: go on the road and win. They've got 2 on the road. Their final 2 conference road games. They can handle business here. They'll be set up for a potential run to lock up that second spot. They will be at Chicago State Thursday, 7 o'clock Central Time, and then the Roadrunners at Kansas City Saturday at 1 o'clock Central Time as well. So they're trying to get those road wins right now in second place, trying to hold on to that as the conference season winds down a little bit. On to CSUB baseball. The Roadrunners at home this week as they open up their season against Creighton, and the Jays with a sweep of CSUB. Wasn't 28-6. There it was. It was 5-0 on Friday's game as the Runners fall in that one. Saturday, Bakersfield 4 errors that allows 4 unearned runs for Creighton. That's the difference in the ball game. They win 5-1. And then Sunday, again, the Runners a little bit issue with the bats, a little bit issue in the field as well. They lose to Creighton 10-4. So the Runners swept open the season against the defending Big East champions. they'll try to right things a bit this weekend as CSUB is going to host Northern Kentucky at Hartfield, and that will be Friday at 2 with a doubleheader starting at 2 p.m. on Friday. They'll also play again 12:30 on Saturday and Sunday at noon at Hartfield. So 4 more games for the Roadrunners in this 7-game homestand to open the 2015 season. We'll talk with Soloman Williams about that coming up in the next segment, or actually at the bottom of the hour. Also, CSUB softball, as we alluded to earlier in the program, had a rough weekend to start 2 weeks ago. And again, not 28-6, but the Runners winning. If it was 28-6, it would have been really good for CSUB. But actually, they'll settle for a 4-0 win over Montana on Saturday, and then the Runners are going to, and then they get another win on Saturday, 2-1 over Southern Utah, who they lost to earlier in the tournament. So 2 wins on Saturday. Sunday, they'd lose a nail biter to Kent State 1-0, but then they bounce back in the nightcap of Sunday's San Diego tournament to beat host San Diego 4-2. So the Runners picking up 4 wins on the weekend, as they will now be at home this Saturday with a doubleheader against Pacific. So a good weekend for CSUB softball. Sydney Raeber, who was a big part of that success, will join us in the final segment of the program as well. We're going to step away and take a break. When we come back, CSUB men's basketball coach Ron Barnes will join us. We'll chat about this weekend's upcoming home games: Chicago State on Thursday, Kansas City on Saturday, and we'll be back with that after this. It's Roadrunner Rundown.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great schools.
Bakersfield Christian! Tarzan! Stop now! Right here!
And no matter what school you go to, there's still one thing.
One thing! One thing!
We can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our auto rates as low as 1.99 APR with no payments up to 90 days.
Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
Welcome everyone. Nissan of Bakersfield has everything for the perfect car buying experience. Like our beautiful showroom, full of the most popular Nissan models for you to explore. And our fully stocked parts and service department, from everything from genuine Nissan accessories to factory-trained service technicians to keep your car running its best. Plus, our massive inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles means you're guaranteed to find the right one for you. Nissan of Bakersfield is where you should buy your next car.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, transportation, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The Daily Deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity,
on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
In a fertile valley, a growing university with record enrollment and graduates serving the needs of a thriving community, a tradition of athletic excellence. Now a part of the Western Athletic Conference. CSU Bakersfield.
And welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown as we continue on the program. Still to come on the show, Soloman Williams, CSUB Baseball, will join us. Sydney Raeber from CSUB Softball joining us on the program as well as we continue on the show with CSUB Basketball at home this weekend. Roadrunner men's squad coming off a 1-1 weekend at the long sort of southwest portion trip of the Western Athletic Conference. Win at UTPA, loss at New Mexico State. And joining us now on the program is CSUB head coach Rod Barnes. Coach, good to see you again. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great.
Well, give me your thoughts real quick on the on the last road trip. 1-1. A lot of teams can't do even that. I mean, it's a tough trip. So to get one win at Pan American and then losing to New Mexico State, but still the 1-1 was a pretty good result for you guys.
Well, it was. It was a good trip for us. Obviously, we wanted to hopefully come back with 2. But anytime you can go on the road and play on a Thursday, Saturday, and come back with 1, you got to be pretty pleased with your team. And I thought in the first game against Texas Pan American, I thought. For the most part, the game was played the way we wanted to play, kind of in control of the pace and tempo as you want to be on the road. And then I thought we went to New Mexico State, who's a very talented team, and I thought for a while there we played pretty good, and thought our guys kind of executed the game plan. But they're a good team, and right there at the end, obviously I think it was about an 8-point game most of the way, maybe 10. But they got away from us, but. I learned something about our team, and we got a bunch of guys some more playing time. So I think we're in a good place this time of the season, being pretty healthy and being pretty confident that we could beat anybody in our league. Good defense against UTPA, good rebounding in that one. Obviously, more of that's got to be expected this week against both Chicago State and UMKC because the defense was a big part of why you were able to shut Chicago State down last time. Well, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, they're probably going to come and, try to be better offensively than what they were. But I think our defense has obviously been our mainstay this year and our rebounding. And we think we have that advantage against their team, but we're going to have to work at it. They're a hard-working, hard-playing team, and I watched some film on. They're improved since the last time we played them and playing a couple other guys that helps them on the offensive end. But, I think, with our guys in the way that we're playing right now, I'm pretty confident that we'll go out and, play pretty well this weekend. Again, it's getting closer to the end of the year, and I think everybody's getting excited about getting to Vegas and playing. So, I just keep telling our guys, stay the course, and, once we get there, the best team for a weekend is going to be the team that advances. Looking at UMKC, a team that you were leading late in the first game, kind of played, not to lose and lost it. Yeah. So does this meeting maybe mean a little bit more the second time around? Well, it's one of those stingers because if you look at our last 7 or 8 games, I mean that's probably the game there that down the stretch basically we won the game. I mean we were winning the game and thought. Probably for 35 minutes there, it was our game. And it was almost that, like you felt like the game got stolen from you. Even though we lost the Grand Canyon game here, it was a great high-level game. Both teams were playing. It could have went either way. But the UMKC game was almost a game you walk away and you thought, what happened? And we've had that a few times, but we had not had it in the last month and a half where we would lose a lead, especially playing the way we were playing at that time. So obviously, we got to get back to that point again. But I think, if we do, we won't make that mistake again. I won't allow that to happen to us. But it's one of those games where you felt like you had the team beat and just did not close it out. And hopefully, obviously, they've added a couple of guys that have gotten healthy, and they're, deeper than what they were. So, again, it should be a great matchup for us. But, one game at a time, one play at a time. But this is a huge weekend for us as far as moving up in the standings and continuing to prepare to try to make that run in March. A year ago you were near the bottom of the standings and just kind of looking at the going into the conference tournament. Now you're near the top and you're still fighting for the number 2 seed, basically. Right. Obviously you have to be happy with that development from a year ago to now. Well, I am, and I was just talking to the coaches this morning, before I came over. And the thing you always as a coach, you ask for more, you want more. And, and I told them, I said, listen, we're in a much better place for us, confidence level. We're a whole lot healthier. We got a great rotation of knowing our players, and we just at a different place in our program as far as being in the conference. And that's what you want to build on every year, And I told them, I said, you look at our team and You know, a lot of these guys will be returning for next season. So we've just got to keep getting better every day. And I think if you look back at last year, conference play to this year, we're a better team. And, you know, we're hoping this time next year, you know, instead of fighting for that number 2 spot, hopefully we'll be moving up at this point and be fighting for that number 1 spot.
Both teams coming in this weekend, Chicago State and Kansas City, can score quickly, but your offense has been pretty good lately in response to those teams. I mean, the Grand Canyon game was a good example. Even at UTPA, I mean, every time maybe UTPA made a small run, you guys jumped right back on top of them. So, and even the first half of New Mexico State, you guys made plenty of plays in response to their plays. So, I mean, how do you feel about your offensive matchup, given the way you guys are shooting the ball here lately and making plays?
Well, I do. I mean, I think, and that's the thing that I think you kind of hit it right on the head there, because it was times in the past that we wouldn't make that run. Not that our offense was just so horrible, but when other teams would make a run, you know, hit 2 threes back to back, we may go through a drought there, and it seemed to be lacking confidence offensively. But now, you know, people score, we almost want to come right back and we respond, but we don't try to do that individually. You know, it could be Kevin Mays with a putback, or Ali with a post move, or Jalen with a 3, or Javante hitting. We've figured out, you know, it doesn't have to be one particular person. And I think in our program for a while there, that's the way we were. Guys feel like, I got to do it. And now I think they allow it to come to them, and whatever comes out of the offense or guys feeling it, we're able to respond. And I think confidence is definitely a thing that has helped us, but also I think just the experience and the maturity of being with each other to know, you know, I can make a pass and help us, or I can set a screen and help us. Let's just try to get the best shot, and guys have been stepping up and knocking those shots down.
Have there been 1 or 2 guys that you have that you've seen in the last couple months that you really said, wow, have improved since November to, you know, mid-February?
Probably the guy that's probably been just unbelievably impressive to me is Brent Rapp. I have just been it's been amazing to me just to see his progress, his maturity. I thought when we brought him here and he set out last year, I said, this kid's going to be a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened as fast as it has happened, because if you look at his stats, if you look at the minutes that he's played, you're looking at his field goal percentage, you're looking at his rebound and assists. I mean, since November, they just keep getting better.
Right.
You know, and I think right before Christmas, we were struggling with finishing games. And now towards the end, almost every game you could see in there. And it may be a big shot, as he did against Texas Pan American, or it may be a good pass that he made to Ali, or it may be a big rebound, you know, that he had, you know, a couple of games ago. So it's something that he contributes all the time. And I have been impressed, you know, that it continues to happen, you know, when we're in those situations. So he's probably been the one that I have been the most impressed with, and I think has come along the farthest. I think Ali has improved a whole lot from the beginning of the year, but if I had to give him the most improved guy, it would be Brent Rapp.
Yeah, for sure. And matter of fact, I think the Pan American game, he had 11 points, 6 or 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. And I think I made the comment on the air that, you know, we've never had a guy at the Division I level to come up with a triple-double, and it's been – I mean, it might have been 20-some-odd years since someone's done it, period, in our program. And I said, I think before Brent Rapp is finished, he will be that guy to get a triple-double, because he can be someone who sneaks in with 11 points and 10 assists and maybe picks up, you know, 10 rebounds in a game. It just seems to have that availability because of the way he reads the game.
Right. I would not be surprised at that. I mean, it would not surprise me that he is the guy, because – again, like you said, he kind of just feels the stat, and I think he's not a guy that got to have it for a score, and he doesn't have to have it defensively. I mean, he just finds a way, and whatever's needed at that point, you know, he does it. And I just think he's the type of kid that's great to coach, and, you know, I think once we improve with his jump shots some more, he's a guy that's going to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And and you improve his jump shot, and then you get him to, you know, talk more. He'd be the quietest kid in the world. I mean,
he is. I think that's because his coach talks too much.
He's just realized, you know what, I'm just going to listen, and it'll work. What is this time of year like as a coach? Every win means something in the standings. All wins help, all losses hurt. I mean, is this a stressful time? Is it a fun time? Is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. You're kind of up and down. I mean, probably, you know, you're trying to, you know, concentrate on each day, each play, because you want to get better. But then, man, you just keep thinking about marks. You keep thinking, you know, hey, man, if we could just, because, again, you want to win the league, and New Mexico State is kind of out in front of us.
Yeah.
So, you know, they'll have to really go through a slump. We'll have to win the rest of our games to have a chance to win the regular season.
Right.
So you start trying to think in your mind, okay, we got Chicago State, but you're thinking in your mind, who's going to play in the first round? And, you know, do I have this player ready? And, you know, I don't want to move too fast, but I want to take it slow. But then all of a sudden, you know, your mind drips off again and say, man, if we get this team in the first round, are we working on the things we need to work on?
Right.
So it's a time of a lot of emotions. You know, you win and you're excited, but you're thinking about the next game, or you're thinking about, you know, man, what happened that we could do better. So am I doing everything, you know, that we need to do so we don't get surprised in about 3 weeks when the tournament time. So it's not a great place to be in during the season, I can say that.
Head coach Rod Barnes here on Roadrunner Rundown. Coach, so Thursday 7 against Chicago State, Saturday 7 against Kansas City. Good luck, and we'll see you at the Ed Carter Center this weekend.
Well, it's always great to be on, and hopefully everyone will come out. Homecoming weekend should have a great crowd, so come out and support us.
Absolutely. Rod Barnes here on Roadrunner Rundown. When we come back, we'll speak with Soloman Williams, CSUB baseball in town this weekend as well, as they continue their 7-game homestand to open the season. We'll talk with the Runners' first baseman and about his recovery as well from a shoulder injury as we get back after this on Roadrunner Rundown.
One thing about living in Kern County is all the great schools.
East High! BHS! EC! CSUB!
And no matter what school you go to, there's still one thing.
One thing! One thing!
We can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our auto rates as low as 1.99 APR with no payments up to 90 days.
Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
I am not going to ask him about funguses.
Fungi.
Honey, have you called Gun Knocks about fixing that toilet upstairs?
You know, I saw a plumbing episode on the Fix It channel. Yeah, I can fix it.
You could try it yourself, or you could just call Gunlax and save your marriage.
Hey, honey, I think I did it.
Gunlax, 327-3052.
That wasn't so bad.
We've never done marketing. It seems to be a little intimidating. You don't know what's available. You think you're going to sell your first child, or it's going to be really expensive to do. But Heather really described everything in a way that we knew exactly what we were doing. There was nothing, no questions about it. She was very clear.
I really enjoyed that Heather took her time to get to know us as a family, get to know our business. From anyone that I do meet, I like to get to know them.
We knew exactly what we were getting into, but really the results of it was far more than we ever expected. I think it brought us to the forefront of most people's mind. So they heard our name, and then all of the videos and pictures, the Bakersfield Life, put a face to the name, and they were able to connect that and know what our product was, but also know us as a family.
Because of the Bakersfield Californian and because of Heather, generated so much buzz about our restaurant that we couldn't have done it alone.
It all comes down to this. 14 teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all in and witness who goes home a champion at Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now at OrleansArena.com.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes, we're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to GoRunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Rod Barnes joining us on the program. Again, the Roadrunner men's basketball team at home Thursday night at 7 against Chicago State, Saturday at 7 against Kansas City, and it is homecoming week as well, the big homecoming game on Saturday night as well against UMKC, so make sure you join us at the Cardo Center. Matter of fact, you got a full weekend of Roadrunners action because also in town, the CSUB baseball. They're going to play 4 games this week against Northern Kentucky, and joining us on the program now is senior infielder / designated hitter / still trying to get back to 100% in preseason All-Western Athletic Conference selection, Soloman Williams. Saul, good to see you, man. How you been?
I've been doing good.
How's the I know it's been a tough start to the season. What was kind of the team mentality like? And we knew Creighton was good coming in, but a few bumps throughout the weekend. What's sort of the mentality after after those losses to start the season?
We're still positive. Those 3 games, those aren't conference games, so they don't mean anything for our season. We're still trying to figure some things out. It actually wasn't as bad as it looked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're still feeling good about it.
Yeah, you got to try to tell fans and stuff too. It's like, don't hit the panic button. There's like a 54-game season. Those were 3 games in 54. Everything will be okay. You were 2 for 5 on the weekend. You got a chance to swing the bat a little bit with a run scored. Decent start in your mind, all things considered, as you sort of shake the cobwebs off and still try to recover from that shoulder injury?
Yeah, I felt good. Bat speed was there. It was nice to get back in game action. I haven't played since the WAC tournament last year, so yeah, I was happy to be out there.
And I guess the timing couldn't have been worse. I mean, you were just absolutely into last year, murdering the ball. I think the one you hit in Mesa, Arizona, ended up in Tucson in the tournament. So you were playing real well, and then that shoulder kind of just decides to give out. And so obviously the timing probably couldn't have been worse for you as a player, and even for the team moving forward.
Yeah. The funny thing, I'd never had an arm injury in my life, so it was surprising. At least it was at the end of last year, so I got to play the whole year. But yeah, it was a tough off season trying to come back. As you move forward, what would you like to see, I guess, for your timetable on a full return? Do you have any idea how long that could be? Obviously, you're rehabbing regularly. Yeah, I'm hoping to be back on the field playing first base in 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
If everything goes well.
Was it kind of tough this weekend to see? Because I know there was some issues at the corners and stuff, and seeing one of your positions sometimes be a spot where, like, man, if I was only in there, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
No. Our first baseman, they've been doing, ever since I got hurt, they've been doing everything they could to be able to hold that spot down. So, there was none of that feeling.
As you look at the team, I mean, what would you like to see sort of improve between today and basically the series against Northern Kentucky in your mind for you guys to be successful?
One thing we've really been stressing is trying to have longer at bats. We love our aggressiveness. We're a very aggressive team, especially myself. But we maybe want to see a couple more pitches at bat, grind, get some walks maybe. I think that'll help us out.
There's a lot of that just kind of early season nerves where everybody's just so excited to get back in the batter's box and face a pitcher that's not on their team and hit a ball not in a cage. Is it just kind of impatience maybe early in the year?
In my opinion, that's really all it is. It says nothing about our skills. Like, I know one thing was the top of our lineup didn't do what we're expecting for them to do, and in my opinion, that's all nerves. We still trust those guys.
You came out of junior college last year and sort of a slow start, but as I mentioned, middle of the year, end of the year, I mean, everything sort of clicked for you. What sort of changed, and what kind of adjustments does a player from junior college like yourself have to make as it comes into the Division I level?
Well, yeah, part of it was the whole nervous at the beginning of the season, but for me, I've kind of always been a slow starter. I see a lot of curveballs, a lot of changeups, and it kind of takes me a while to start picking up those pitches. And then once I can lay off those, I start getting fastballs, and that's what I'm looking to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this year the big deal was made about the new baseballs and the lower seams and stuff like that. They say it's supposed to go further. You're a hitter. Any opinions on if the new ball is going further or not?
I'm not really noticing. It's kind of hard for me right now since I'm just coming back.
Yeah.
During batting practice, I'm not really worried about how far I can hit the ball. Yeah, but I haven't noticed much.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think the bats are still the bats, so no matter what you hit with them, they're gonna struggle. As you guys move forward, I mean, this is you got 4 games this weekend, and then Arizona State tournament coming up next weekend. So a lot of tough games on the schedule still. So I mean, the team obviously has to sort of stay focused and make sure that you don't let 1 or 2 losses bother you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this weekend we're not thinking they're going to be as good as Creighton, but every Division I team is going to have
Yeah.
good players. So we just want to stick with the process, go out, win these games, then have fun at the Arizona State tournament, see what we can do there.
What's it been like on a team with so many returners? I mean, most of you guys were all together last year, especially defensively. So, what's it kind of been like this year? Has it been a little bit different considering so many guys have come back from last year's team?
Yeah, we haven't had to have the learning process in the fall like we did last year. So, yeah, that's been good. Everyone kind of knows what's expected of us in this program. And now it's more about getting to the regional. We want to be the first team to do that. So that's what we've been stressing all year.
Coach Kernan decided to come back for this season. Obviously, your senior year. So, your thoughts on that and playing for Coach Kernan for one more season?
Oh, I couldn't be happier. When I found out that he was going to retire last year, I was bummed. Possibly my last year at baseball. I wanted to learn from him another year. So when I found out he was coming back, I was very excited.
Nice, and you are a senior now, and obviously, do you have hopes of playing baseball after college?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've been dreaming of that since I was 5. Hoping it's going to happen. I feel like I have the skills to do it, but I also have other plans in case it doesn't happen.
Nice, and you go in as a senior, so like I'm going as a draft eligible senior, so not going to be a ton of money out there, but you're going to have to play for the passion of the game early, right?
Yeah, I just want the chance to play professional ball. So then even if it doesn't work out, I can always say that for the rest of my life that I was a professional baseball player.
Yeah, there you go. How's the major coming along? Are you on pace to graduate this spring or after that? Or
yeah, I'm going to graduate this spring,
nice.
and then if baseball doesn't work out, I'm going to start grad school.
Oh, cool.
Year.
What's your major?
Right now I'm liberal studies with a minor in sociology.
Okay, and so if there's not baseball in the future, what else is out there for you?
I'm thinking to go into grad school for social work.
Okay.
I want to do some kind of counseling, help out children. Not exactly sure what capacity yet, but that's what I'm thinking.
Right on. And how have you sort of improved in your time at CSUB, both as sort of a player and a person? We saw the transition as a player last year. I mean, what other things have you kind of picked up along the way in this year and change here at CSUB?
The main thing I've really picked up, mostly as a baseball player, is the mental preparation before the game. That's kind of what Kernan stresses. It's not all about physical. Mm-hmm. So every at-bat, I've learned to take it a certain way that I didn't before. So yeah, that's been really beneficial for me.
What as you look at baseball and you mentioned you wanted to obviously play as a professional, was there like one moment as a kid, maybe growing up, maybe going to a game, maybe watching the game when you're, or maybe even playing the game where you said, yeah, this is why I love baseball, or maybe when you think about why you like the game, there's that one moment that sticks out?
I wouldn't say there's one moment. I would say growing up, I played on the same travel ball team with the same group of guys that carried me into high school, and all the best years of my life were either at practice, just hanging out with my baseball friends. So that's kind of made me just want to take it as far as I can.
There's just something weird. Like baseball, of all those sports, and it might be like this for everybody who plays any sport, but there's always something about baseball. Once you sort of get in between the lines, there's nothing else. Like you can't think about anything else. It's so weird. It's like you just have this whole nother dimension. Once you get onto the field, once you in the game, you're not thinking about anything else other than the next pitch, the next at bat, the next inning in the field, right? I mean, it was like that for me, and I'm sure that continues today for you.
Yeah, that's what's going to be hard. If whenever my baseball career is done, I've always been a baseball player. That's what I am. I'm a baseball player, so it'll be strange for a little bit to see what Soloman Williams actually is.
Yeah, and another thing about ball players is obviously it's always big. Superstitions are huge. Do you have anything that you have to do before an at-bat, maybe, I don't know, before a game? Are you a superstitious guy, and is there something that you have to do?
I wouldn't say it's quite superstitious, but if you watch me before my at-bat, I go in, I fix the dirt, I step out of the box, I take a breath, I fix my jersey. I got all kinds of little things I have to do.
Yeah, there's always a few. There are some guys though that are pretty nuts. Is there a couple guys that are like really nuts on the team with that stuff that you can think of?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Some weird things. I don't know if I should say. maybe locker room type things.
Okay. Okay. Well, no, it's definitely. I had a basketball coach who told me a story once about he had a basketball teammate who would and this was in the NBA. He would drink half of a Coke with his left hand before a game, switch it to his right, pour the rest down the drain. Halftime, we're talking about a halftime of an NBA game. They'd go in the locker room at halftime. He would drink another Coke, half of a Coke just chug it with his left hand and pour the rest down the drain. Every single game, this was this guy's approach. So I don't know. I've heard weird. I've heard weirder. Soloman Williams this weekend against Northern Kentucky. Are you expecting to, at some point, DH probably in that series? I know you got 4 games in 3 days. So
yeah, I think I will. I'm not exactly sure how much. Me and Kernan, we're trying to ease back into it so I don't have any setbacks. But yeah, I definitely want to get.
It's got to be tough because you're thinking I can do it, but you're also thinking I don't want to push it, but I really want to play. I mean, is it tough to sort of remind yourself I've got 50 some odd games left?
Yeah, we've been talking with the doctors and the physical therapists and stuff. I have to know when my shoulder's fatigued so I don't get hurt and I'm gonna be okay to play when we get into conference, into the WAC tournaments. Yeah, it's a tough thing though.
Tough balance, that's for sure. All right, Soloman Williams and the Roadrunners this weekend at Hartfield, starting Friday with a doubleheader at 2. Saturday and Sunday, 1 game. Saturday's game 12:30, Sunday at noon. It's all good to see you, man. Good luck on the road to recovery, and we'll see you out at the field this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
All right, folks. When we come back, we're going to talk a little softball. Sydney Raeber had a big part in the Runner's successful weekend at the San Diego tournament. She'll join us on the program. They're opening on Saturday as well at home against Pacific, their home opener, and a doubleheader. So we'll chat with her. Coming up next, after this, it's Roadrunner Rundown.
One thing about living in Kern County is all these great rivalries. But despite all these rivalries, there's still one thing we can all agree on. Kern Schools is the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our auto rates as low as 1.99 APR with no payments up to 90 days.
Kern Schools, the biggest little credit union in town.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, transportation, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity, on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
It all comes down to this. 14 teams battle their way through the bracket for a chance to punch their ticket to the big dance. Be a part of the madness in Las Vegas, March 11th to 14th. Go all in and witness who goes home a champion at Orleans Arena. The 2015 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. Tickets on sale now at orleansarena.com.
In a fertile valley, a growing university with record enrollment and graduates serving the needs of a thriving community. A tradition of athletic excellence. Now a part of the Western Athletic Conference. CSU Bakersfield.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Soloman Williams for joining us on the program in the last segment, the runner's first baseman, and right now kind of stuck in the DH role as he rehabs from a shoulder injury last year, and he'll be back at full strength hopefully in a few weeks. And Rod Barnes joined us as well, men's basketball head coach, runners at home Thursday and Saturday this week in Western Athletic Conference action. Also at home this week, playing a doubleheader on Saturday against Pacific to open up the home portion of their schedule with CSUB softball. Runners were 3-2 this past weekend at the USD tournament. A big reason was because of our guest now, Sydney Raeber. She is a junior outfielder / pitcher out of Hanford. And welcome to the program. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, congratulations. 3-2 on the weekend. You went 0-5 the first weekend at that tough UNLV tournament. So how important were these wins for your team this weekend?
I think they were really important. Last weekend, we kind of struggled. We have a lot of new girls on our team, so, we kind of were figuring out how to work as a unit. We went back to practice last week and did a lot of team building type things, and this weekend was really big. You saw it on the field. You saw us working together as a unit, and you saw that we could beat these teams, and we wanted to beat these teams, so they were really big wins.
The team played well all weekend long. I mean, nearly winning every game. What changed over the last couple weeks between the two tournaments?
I would say that we kind of just bought into it. We knew we were good. We knew that we had the ability to beat the teams. And then we kind of just went back to practice, and we figured it out. We figured out that, okay, if we all come together, we all have each other's backs, and this is what it's going to take to win. And, so we just went out this weekend, and we figured it out.
Well, you're a big part of Sunday's success. 5 for 7 on Sunday in the 2 games, 2 RBIs. You lost a pitching game 1-0, so you pitched very well. What sort of changed with you in the start of the season, or does it just matter just kind of calming down, getting that first weekend out of the way, and then being able to focus at the plate?
I would say I kind of take my at-bats more of like a pitcher's standpoint. So I know how tough it is to go out there and pitch a game, and it's 0-0 and the pressure's on. And so I kind of just knew that I had to do whatever it took to get on base just to help my pitchers out and have their backs. And, so just... Yeah. Does
it make it tougher for you, though? Are you maybe overthinking it a little bit because you are a pitcher as well, and so you're almost thinking, well, I would throw this in this situation, or do you almost like maybe think, is it almost make you like you're overanalyzing it because you know what the pitcher's thinking as well?
Yeah, sometimes that is my downfall. This weekend, though, I think I held my composure pretty well. I just saw a ball and hit it right back at the pitcher.
Just, as they've said in the past, close your eyes and swing hard. And, good things will happen. Yeah. Sydney Raeber here on Roadrunner Rundown. You mentioned this team. I know you have a lot of new pieces to this team. How long does it take for a team like this to sort of to mesh on the ball field? Was maybe that week at UNLV that week you guys needed to kind of come all together with all the new faces you have?
I think so. I really do think so. I think that seeing the potential that we had and knowing that the reason we lost those games was mostly because of our own errors and us not doing the things that we needed to do. So I think we realized that if we just play good D, go out and hit the ball, then we can hang in with these teams.
Yeah, and you win. You beat USD 4-2. They used to be a conference powerhouse when we played in the PCSC. So was it kind of for a few players that have been around during that time? Was it kind of cool to get that win against San Diego?
Yeah, it was really good to get that win. I don't think that we necessarily were thinking about that. I think we just saw them as another opponent and just went out and played our game.
Yeah, and we mentioned this a little bit before, but you're both a pitcher and an outfielder. Which one do you like playing? Which one do you like best?
I like them both. I like pitching. It's kind of hard to say. I've always played center field. Yeah. I've always been more so outfielder than pitcher. So I do enjoy it, though, and games like Sunday, 1-0, that's a good game for me. So
yeah. And then, obviously, I guess being a pitcher, you get obviously to be a part of every single pitch. You're part of every play.
Yeah.
I guess on the contrast in the outfield, you might sometimes get a little bored because you're not in the action all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to get lost out there.
Yeah, and I was actually told that growing up. My dad said, you should be a catcher because they get to be involved in every single play. And I thought, very good point. Sydney Raeber here on Roadrunner Rundown. What was how tough is the adjustment from not only just high school softball to college softball, but pitching at the college level? Like, what are the adjustments you had to sort of make?
I think in high school, I was able to be a powerhouse. I throw hard, so I was able to just blow it by girls. And then you come to college, and you realize you have to have movement, or else they're just going to smash the ball off you. So I think one of the big things was I had to find my movement and figure out how to make the ball break. So
nice. And why did you came from Hanford, not too far up the road. What was kind of the reason you chose CSUB?
I came to camp here my senior year. I really liked Coach Buck and her coaching style, so that was one of the main reasons. Close to home, Division I.
Nice.
Wanted to compete, and I wanted to make this program better. So.
You get a lot of people come down and watch it?
Yeah, I do. I have a really big fan base in the crowd out there.
Good.
Yeah.
You're a nursing major as well, which I know is one of the toughest, if not the toughest majors on campus. How do you get it all done between being a student athlete and playing softball?
It takes a lot of time management. Classes are pretty tough. I just make sure that I have all my work done before we travel on the weekend, and I study hard, make sure that I'm getting good grades on my tests.
Yeah, and you guys travel a lot early during the year, so I mean, does that mean a lot of homework on the road? A lot of reading?
Yeah. Usually, especially if we have like late games and stuff, then I'm staying up at night trying to read, finish homework, do my quizzes, and all that stuff.
Are you the one with like the 16-pound backpack that's just jammed with books and papers?
Yes.
Yeah, there's always one or two of those on every team. What are some of your plans after softball? Obviously, you have this year and next season. So, kind of what are you looking forward to in the future?
I think I'm obviously nursing program, and then I think I'm going to go on and get my nurse practitioners and go into family practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And what as you made the transition into college softball, was there a moment growing up and as a softball player or softball fan that maybe you said, this is why I like this sport, I want to do this? I mean, was it playing it? Was it watching even baseball or softball on TV that said, yeah, this is why I want to play this game?
I think a lot of it had to do, I played softball, travel ball, all that, winning, obviously.
Yeah.
But then watching it on TV, too, and you see all these big-name teams, and I'm like, I want to go play Division I softball, and I want to play at that school. I want to play at UCLA. I want to beat UCLA.
Sure.
And, yeah, so I think just seeing them and seeing the potential and all that stuff, I think that's what made me.
It is almost getting, and I've heard some athletes in various sports talk about this, when you get to the college level, after playing travel ball and club ball for so many years, it's almost like a slower pace because you're playing fewer games. And you've got a limited season. You're not playing year-round. Is it like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty tough, though, still having the 4-game, 5-game, 6-game weekends, and then you're like, by the 6th game, you're like, okay, I need a breather.
Arms falling off. You don't have much left on the fastball, that's for sure. I was asking Soloman Williams about this in the last segment, being a baseball player and you being a softball player. Do you have any either pre-game, maybe pre-at-bat, even pre-pitch sort of superstitions or routines that you've got to go through to make sure you feel comfortable?
I don't
Not at
really,
all?
no.
Anything nuts on the team? Any crazy? You don't have to give names, but anybody who does anything weird?
Not really.
Not really?
Actually, no. Not that I've noticed, at least.
There you go. Actually, I had the only thing that I ever had was my very first junior varsity baseball game. I happened to accidentally miss a belt loop. I had no idea I did it, and I was 2 for 3, and I drove in like 2 runs. And I got it, and then at that point I was like, "Whoa, I got to skip the front left belt loop from now on." So my baseball belt never quite caught all the loops because of that very first game. You guys have 2 games this weekend against Pacific to open up your home portion of the schedule. Then you're on the road again for a while. But obviously, after being on the road the last couple weeks, good to be back home.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to not have to travel. It's nice to just be here at home and get to show Bakersfield what we could do.
Yeah, and give me your thoughts real quick about this team. I mean, you seem to have a lot of new pieces into this squad that have looking to help you guys out in the conference. What are your thoughts on this team moving forward?
We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of big hitters this year. We're coming together really well. We look good. I think that we trust each other. I think there's a different mentality. There's more of a want and a know that we're going to win. So That's really exciting, and it's really fun to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good luck this weekend against Pacific. Again, Saturday at noon, a doubleheader at the softball complex, and then on the road for a bit, and then conference play before we know it.
Yeah.
And what did you maybe learn in that first year in the WAC that you're trying to apply here in year number 2 as a player, maybe even as a team?
I think we just learned that we are as good as these teams, and I think we've kind of put ourselves on the back burner. We've kind of, in the previous years, we kind of saw that we were ranked, last in the WAC, and I think this year we see it as, we're ranked last, but no, we're not going to finish last.
Not going to finish
Yeah.
Good to hear. All right, Sydney Raeber here on Roadrunner Rundown, and you're going to pitch one of these games this weekend, essentially?
Hopefully.
Hopefully?
Yeah.
There you go. We shall see. All right, noon Saturday at the softball complex. Hey, thanks so much for joining us, and
Thank you.
we'll catch up throughout the season.
Awesome.
All right, Sydney Raeber here on Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Soloman Williams as well from CSUB Baseball and head coach Ron Barnes as well from CSUB Men's Basketball. Here's the schedule this weekend because it is a busy one. It'll start on Thursday. CSUB Men's Basketball hosting Chicago State at the Icardo Center, 7 o'clock tip-off. Also, it's the Heart Disease Awareness Game, and first 500 fans receive a Runner's All Heart bracelet, and that'll be available on Thursday night's game against Chicago State, 7 o'clock. Tickets available at ValleyTix.com. And then Roadrunners continue their home action Saturday night at 7. Second place battle with Missouri, Kansas City. So join us at the Icardo Center, 7 o'clock as well. And then baseball starts Friday at 2 p.m. Doubleheader against Northern Kentucky, 2 and probably 6-ish in the second game. And then also we'll have baseball Saturday at 12:30 and then Sunday at noon. And CSUB softball will continue their home portion of their schedule on Saturday at noon against Pacific at the softball complex. So lots going on this week. Check us out online at GoRunners.com for more information. You can also follow us online at Facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners, on Twitter and Instagram at CSUB Athletics, and get this program anytime in its on-air entirety at GoRunners.com. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. We'll catch you next week. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.